Kriti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram. This salutations to Bhagavat Pujapad, incarnation of God, to bring the message of the Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita to the common people and harmonizing all different sects, different religious sects in India. Shankaracharya, therefore he is called Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam, home of Shruti, Smriti and Purana. In Hindus, this idea comes very often when I speak at schools and colleges, that scriptures of Hindus. Hindus have 3 tiers of scriptures. One is the Shruti, means Upanishads, which give the philosophical, impersonal, scientific presentation of the truths. But then most of us are not philosophers. We don't have even time to read all that philosophical text and to dwell into it deep. But still want to be religious. And we just want to know what I should do, I shouldn't do, when should I get up, how should I get married, how should I deal with children, and all those, the aspects of day-to-day life. That is what we want to know. And so there are what is called smritis, the different texts. They are like the operating manuals. Operating manual is, like you all use computers. How many of you know how a computer is made? Hardly anyone. You don't need to know also. Even those who are in IT, information technology, they do not know how a computer is made. They say that that's not our field, It is. So they are the users of the machines. What they need is the manual. How to operate that machine, that much they need to know. They don't need to know the science and all that technical details about it. No, we don't. We just use it. So they need user's manual. And you can see the user's manuals, they change. The science behind it doesn't change much, but the user's manuals, they change. You cannot, use the user's manual of, say, a computer that was in 1960s. 1960s computer, a very small one would have occupied this whole hall. Now the manual for that, you cannot use for, say, modern Apple Slim, this that you can put in pocket also. So it is a different manual, although the science behind it hasn't changed much. So similarly, we want that kind of, these instructions. How should I lead religious life? And that is called Smriti. And then the 3rd tier of scripture is called Purana. What is Purana? Present the same philosophical truths through stories, so that the common people can appreciate it. All great teachers have done that. Like Jesus says that I teach in parables. Why? Because those things attract the minds of the people. And thus the truths can be imparted through that more easily. How many read, I ask people this question, how many read Immanuel Kant's Critique of Pure Reason? I started reading a few pages, and then afterwards, I don't know when I fell asleep, even before going through 2 pages. So that is the nature of those books. But see how many read Harry Potter? Ah, so the stories, they attract people's mind. And then if you make that story as a capsule in which the medicine is put in. Now, the medicine is very bitter. You cannot really swallow it. But so put it in a capsule that is, you can taste it easily. It rolls down into your stomach and then the medicine acts. So story becomes like a capsule. The truths are put in that. And through that story, it gets into you. That is called Purana. Very enchanting stories. And so people read, how much Ramayana and Mahabharata, how much stories people read. Bhagavatam. So that is Shankaracharya is adept in all these three. So he is called Shruti Smriti Purana Nam Alayam. But more important thing for us, Karunalayam. He is the house of compassion, which prompts him to give out these teachings. Karunalayam. It is said that yesterday somebody was asking, yes, he was asking about incarnation of God. Incarnation of God is a body made of compassion. It is not an ordinary body. It is through the compassion God takes a human form. So that is how Shankaracharya is Karunalayam. The solidification, if you can imagine, the compassion solidified. That is Shankaracharya. So, and therefore the last word in that was Loka Shankaram, the one who is there to for bringing this great auspicious message to people and making thereby people go beyond suffering. So the whole idea in Vedanta is always complete cessation of suffering, as Shankaracharya himself puts it at the end of his introductory commentary on the Brahma Sutras. That very beautiful, simple words that he says, Atyantika dukkha nivritti paramananda avaptischa, a total cessation of suffering, and the highest bliss is brought at our doorstep. Isn't it very inviting? Yes, we want total cessation of pain, not just temporary consolations, but a permanent total cessation of pain. That is what we want. And the highest bliss that is possible. That something beyond that can even not be comparable. It cannot be increased. It cannot be diminished. Both. You add sugar to make something sweet. What do you add to sugar to make it sweet? You will say, what a ridiculous question, Swami. Have some sense. So it is because nothing needs to be added to sugar. It is by its nature sweet. So that kind of bliss is brought to us. Not something that is a gap, a space between two events of pain. You feel a sense of happiness. That is not what is meant here. It is the highest and permanent, everlasting bliss. So, that is the purpose of all his works. There is no other purpose in the life of incarnation of God except to bring this great elixir of immortality and bliss to people. So, therefore, you see, the Shankaracharya's all works are from this point of view. And one of that is this Vivekachudamani. Vivekachudamani is, as revered Mataji has told me, she divided the topics for me. How should I speak? What after what and what after what. So today the topic is all these the spiritual practices that have to be undertaken, the meditations and so forth. We understood some of the principles yesterday. Today we will see that it is something to be actually implemented in life. Otherwise, it's of no use. So that for that we have to undertake the proper practices. And as Swami Vivekananda beautifully tells in his lecture that was given in Southern California, a great lecture. The title was Work and Its Secret. That you don't confuse it with his another wonderful lecture in Karma Yoga, The Secret of Work. That is not what I am referring to. The lecture titled Work and Its Secret, where he says that the means, they become means only if they connect to the end. Otherwise, there is no point in calling them means. So, what is the means of God realization? If that connects us to God, if we, by following these means, we get connected to God. One should be very rational, scientific in approach. Just doing something in the name of spiritual practice. Oh, I repeated Vishnu Sahasranam 1,000 times. Okay, very good. But for what? What did you achieve by that? No, I do puja every day. Okay, very good. But how does it bring you the fulfillment of life? You have to connect the means to the end. That is the most important aspect of Vedanta. The means are to be connected with the end of our, or the goal of our life. So that is being told now. And Shankaracharya tells in one of these verses in Vivekachudamani that somebody gets the news and also a map. You must have read all those treasure island type stories that somewhere the person finds an old map of some treasure hidden somewhere, and then that catches that person's imagination. Oh, there is a treasure there. I must get it. So now, just looking at the map, you are not going to get it. The drawing is fine, but you have to follow that, understand the meanings in some of the very symbolic these messages there. And thus, when you follow, then you reach the spot which matches. You may get waylaid just to add spice to the story. First, usually the young people looking for that, they go to some other spot and then get frustrated. They start digging there, nothing is found. And they said that, oh, it was all hoax. Somebody points out, no, see, you missed this particular point. Now you have to go there, it is. So then they go to the right place and dig, and then they find it. So the information that the treasure is there and actually getting the treasure in your hands, these are two completely different things. Information is necessary, but not sufficient. Like to have rains, there should be clouds in the sky. It is necessary, but it is not sufficient. We have many days which are cloudy, but not a drop of rain falls. So it is necessary to have the map, but it's not sufficient. One has to take up that search and hard work to take it out. Shankaracharya mentions that here, aptokti khananam. Then, yeah, you have to take out the earth on the top, then big stones. You have to go deep enough, take out all that. It is a frustrating job many times, but one has to be patient. Lot of perseverance is required. Why do we not succeed in spiritual life even though we may be big scholars? We know many things. Actually, a few verses come here to criticize that kind of scholasticity, that you may be very brilliant, but that does not give you any skill in realizing the spiritual goal. So it is, Shankaracharya himself was a tremendous scholar, but he was not caught into that web of being a scholar and boasting about it and showing all the great accolades and honors that you get because of that. No, that was a trash for him. So it is, he says, what one should do. First thing is aptokti there. Believe, accept, have full confidence in what these sages have told. One has to have, that is the first thing, that yes, and those sages are not out there to cheat us. They don't want any money or anything worldly from us. Why should they cheat us? There is absolutely nothing that they want from us. They are fulfilled. What is called apta kama. They have no desires left in them. And so out of compassion, it is told. But we question that. What's the proof that they were right? I accept this idea. We should ask for proof. Do we really ask proof for everything that we do? Then that is justified. How many have you asked that the lady whom you think that she is your mother, give me first proof, then I will believe that you are my mom? Has anybody done that? So our idea that I will believe only after getting proof is a pure nonsense. We are not consistent in that. Only when it comes to God, then we ask, is there any proof? As if we are asking proof for every other thing. We just blindly believe whatever the contents are printed on that, or we buy something. Now those people are for profit. They are not for your good. They print things that will, make things profitable for them, and then print it in those things which are really to be printed only for the statutory purposes. They are printed in such small and ineligible letters that it is, one of our members used to say that they print it white on white so that nobody will be able to read it. So, and then, just not too long ago, one of our members, that she had a doubt. She read that she bought it from Whole Foods and thinking that it is organic and so forth, but had doubt. And so she contacted that FDA through a letter. It is not an easy process to contact them. And after 2-3 months, she gets a letter. that, well, this is the product that we don't certify that because it is from China and certified by Chinese FDA. You ask them. So, those things we believe blindly. Only when it comes to God, then we start questioning those who have absolutely no selfish motive. They do not gain anything whether we accept God or we don't accept God. Now it is up to you. Well, you will be having the highest bliss in life if you accept. If you don't accept, you will suffer. That doesn't matter to them at all. So that has to be accepted clearly that they are saying the truth. They are saying the truth. We blindly accept, what Google says. Now, see the irony of it. Google collects from all of us the information and puts it there. Then I go on Google, hey, this is authority. It is not authority at all. And yet we give that the credit of being authority. And these sages have told something, and that is verifiable. I am saying it is scientific because the criteria for scientific statements is, it should be verifiable and also it should be disprovable. Both these are very important things. But for both of these, we have to work. The sages challenge, like Sri Ramakrishna presented it as challenge. Come on, test. Come on, test. And then you will realize you don't want to take it on faith. Okay, test it. But we neither will go to test and will neither believe. So this should not be done. Accept it as a premise to be tested. So this is go that to work on it. Prove it in your life. And then if you do not see that it is true, then you have the right to blame, that it was not true. I didn't do that. I did everything, but I didn't get the result. But the sages are very, very certain that it will happen. Rakhal Maharaj Swami Brahmananji says that, okay, I tell people keep on asking hundreds of questions, bother my head without doing anything. Until I gave you the mantra, practice it for 2 years, as I have instructed. And if nothing happens, then come and give me 2 slaps. He was a very wise man. He knew that he is not going to get 2 slaps. Because if they practice, they are going to get the result. It is true. But we don't do anything. In our dispensary, the doctor used to give medications, and then they in the village, they would not regularly take that medicine and would come and tell the doctor, the medicine, it didn't work at all. Did you take it as I mentioned? Oh, first day I took it. Next day, what happened? I had gone to my daughter's place and then give 2 minutes description of how nice his daughter is. It has no bearing on how nice my daughter is and what. The problem was that he didn't take the medicine. And our doctor had a lot of humor in him. He would say, our medicines are very good, but actually they work only. The problem with them is that they work only if you take them. So if you don't take, they don't work. So these medicines also are like that. One has to actually take those, act on those. So these actions are very important here. That discrimination, that is the main idea here. This is Chris jewel of discrimination or discernment in our modern terms, that you have to discern. And it is an active process. It is a sadhana, a spiritual discipline to be taken up, that examine that is it permanent or impermanent. Hmm. So, what is permanent there? What is impermanent there? This discernment should become a habit, so that we will not mistake the body, which is impermanent, to be permanent. Patanjali describes, yesterday we were talking about Maya. Patanjali describes avidya very beautifully in a very psychological way. That yoga aphorisms is a treatise on psychology. So he says there that everything gets reversed in Maya. That which is impermanent is seen to be permanent. That we anitya, ashuchi, this dukkha, anatmasu, nitya, shuchi, atmakhyati, iti ravidya, nitya, shuchi, then dukkha, sukha, atma, iti khyati, it is avidya. That what is surely going to land us in suffering, we think that that is the highest happiness that I will be getting. It is that which is body, impermanent, changing all the time, but our behavior is as if it is permanent. That has to change. And that gets changed through this constant practice of discernment. It is, we should be very intelligent there. Intelligent means every moment, let us see this. Yesterday, somebody was telling that how can I divide my time? This in spiritual practice, I am so busy at work and at home, I don't get time to practice. I said that this is the problem of everyone. For every other thing, we have time. When it comes to spiritual practice, where is the time? So, first of all, don't say that. Secondly, whatever you do, spiritual practice is a 24/7 thing. Whatever one does, the spiritual awareness has to be inserted in it. That is the point. You may be doing all work in the, and Sri Ramakrishna speaks about it all the time, that otherwise it will be a partial spiritual life, which is no spiritual life. So therefore, one has to really put this idea, especially if we are practicing this yoga of knowledge, practicing discernment. It won't do that I will practice discernment for 5 minutes. You can practice meditation for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but discernment, if you practice, say I practice for 5 minutes, it is not practicing at all. It is to go on all the time. As long as you are in waking state, practice it. And then you will see that it works even in the dream state or in the deep sleep as well. But every moment of our waking state, let us see, is it permanent? Is it real? Or it is imaginary? Why Swami Vivekananda was called, that name Vivekananda? Because he had that discernment. Everything was judged on this. And that was his joy. Source of his joy was this Viveka. So he was Vivekananda. Our joys are exactly opposite. Our sense of discernment tells, don't indulge in it. But then I shut off that discernment and go for it. So we are all Vivekanandas in a way. There is our joy comes from non-discernment. It should come from discernment. So this is the first idea that Shankaracharya gives. There has to be a firm determination. Without that determination, we will not be able to progress. And this is a rather big topic. If she permits, I will take 10 minutes extra today. Mm. So it is, therefore, one must have, without determination and discipline, one cannot progress. Mm. No, I am a jnana yogi. Means what? I don't practice any meditation. I don't practice any that all I am divine. I just know that. What do you know? You are divine. No, you are full of jealousy and yeah, all those things. How can no? But still, I am divine. These things I heard in a lecture that these are all like clouds; they come and go. I am unaffected divine. So that is not being a jnana yogi everywhere. See that there is this spirit of discernment working. Is it real? And if it is not real, discard it. Viveka is really Vivek if it is followed by Vairagya, dispassion. And discernment must be followed by dispassion. If something is, you see, is impermanent, you should lose all interest in its acquisition. It is impermanent. What is the use? Bhutesh Anandji in one lecture gave a very nice example that he was such a great teacher that, there was the sage Markandeya. And he said that I don't need any house to be built. I can just roam about, stay anywhere, because my life is very short. He had been given a very short life. How short? The whole cycle of creation, what is called a yuga. One yuga life. But he said that after all, it is impermanent, very short, comes and goes. So for such a short time, what is the point in building a house for oneself? So he didn't build any house because it is impermanent. Let us not have any interest in things that are impermanent. It is tough. Let me tell you, to be a jnana yogi is a very tough thing. And to be, feeling happy and announcing that I am a jnana yogi, any fool can prattle about it, you say. The practice of jnana yoga, therefore, is very, very tough. To keep on discerning all the time, that what is real, what is not real, and that there has to be that sense of very strong determination that yes, real, unreal. I will not take step without discernment. It becomes then the habit. First, you have to make a strong determination. I will do like this. So now do you understand what I mean, or what Shankaracharya means by being this leading a life of discernment? And I understand you may say that it is tough. Yeah, but any difficult thing with practice becomes easy. So let us start practicing. And do not say, I'll start practicing from tomorrow. Mm. Tomorrow is the day that never comes. That is the definition of tomorrow. In our Indian that shops, we used to see the signs. And cash today, credit tomorrow. So the customer says that, well, I want it today, then pay cash. And if you come tomorrow, you see the same sign there. So it is like that. Do it today. Right now, there is a nice book by Eckhart Tolle, that Power of Now. Now is the time, best time to start. So start that determined practice of discernment. It has to be determined. How strong the determination is, our determinations collapse very fast. In the just a little wind of temptation, and our determination just uh, gets flattened. So that determination, therefore, will not be able to make us this a jnana yogi. But with practice, it grows. That is what Shankaracharya has told earlier, that manda madhyama, those who have a strong determination and thus strong dispassion, they will reach fast. Those who don't have it, they are very little, doesn't matter, it will grow. With practice, with proper care, it will grow. If we practice, it will certainly grow, and then it will be helpful. So it is thus as much as possible, let us practice. So then he says, uh, I had been since yesterday night and today morning, I was trying to write down which verses should I take them up. And the book is such a wonderful book that I starting noting down almost all verses. So I saw that it is a useless job. But so it is. Uh, there is this dictum, thou art that. How should one go about it? That it is this spirit of discernment. This is the practice of yoga of knowledge. You know the story, thou art that. It is means you are God. If you look at yourself and your idea of God, this appears to be completely a baseless false statement. I have very little capacity. I have very short life. How can I be the God? So, have the sages told something that is false? No. This is the statement from Chandogya Upanishad, and where the disciple, I don't want to get into the details of the story, but one important point, and this is, what is it called? That hands-on experience. So the teacher, who happens to be the father of the student, okay, you see that tree? There is the big fruit fallen from that tree. Get the fruit here. The disciple goes and gets the fruit. Okay, now break it open. What do you see? There are these small balls, they are there inside. Okay, take one of them, break it. What do you see? Small, tiny little grains are there. That is even difficult to see with eyes. And then the sage says, look, from that very tiny thing, there is that seed. From that, this huge tree that has come up. That tree is potentially there. So you have that tree, the God. You are not able to see it now. But by growing this, it will look like that. It is, you are divine. You appear different. So get rid of the appearances. Yesterday in the satsang, I was talking about my favorite analogy. That think of each of us as animal crackers. Yeah, what are there? They are different only in shapes. Inside it is the same, isn't it? Whether you eat a crocodile or whether you eat an elephant, you are eating the same substance, and you are actually, still you can be a vegetarian. You are not eating any animal. So, where is the difference there? Only in shapes. And according to the shape, the name is given to it. So just think, we are all like that. Mm. It is a simple exercise. Just remove the shapes. Mm. What? Is it, Ranjana, very difficult? Simple. Do it, Yeah. When you do it, then you and Mahan Bhai are same, isn't it? There is no difference at all. There is no desire at all. The desire is only because of difference. I don't have time, but it is a very nice topic to think about. That the psychology of desire. The desire comes because we see differences. Desire is a sign of ignorance that we see too. And the desire is try to just become one, have it. Because that oneness is actually the truth. And then that fulfillment of desire gives us joy, because you become one. Yeah, so if Kalyan is there and suppose he wants to eat a cookie, he's taking for granted that he likes cookies. So if he is there, cookie is here, no joy. When does he get the joy? When cookie and he become one, isn't it? When he and cookie becomes one. So all they have these, yeah, it is very simple thing that all our attempt is to realize, to experience this oneness. And it has to be carried on with great determination. So he says here that, look, they that and thou, they are looking different only because of the difference in shapes. So when you abstract that, then the essence is one, same. In that sense alone, you are God. Not just by prattling and becoming proud and scoffing at others. I'm God, what do you think? So that is it is foolishness. So I am divine. Yeah, very important. But when the upadhis, these are called upadhis in Sanskrit, very beautiful word. In English, it gets translated as limiting adjuncts and not a very happy translation. So it is when they are pushed away like the shapes. It is a limiting adjunct, an upadhi. So you push it aside and then you are the same one essential reality. So it takes courage, tremendous courage to push away. We have to grow. Yesterday I told that when a little baby thinks that the elephant and crocodile are different, but that when the baby goes to kindergarten, knows that they are same. So similarly, we have to grow spiritually a little bit, that then we will be able to see that all of us are actually one. Any problem? No, isn't it? So it is simple truth, Vedanta gives you very simple truths. Simple, as I mentioned earlier, tremendously scientific, verifiable, verifiable. Somebody has verified those and they invite you to verify it. So it doesn't tell you anything to take purely on just belief. So many times in schools I tell Hinduism, like many other religions, as they are preached, it is not a belief system. It is a scientific inquiry into the nature of the things and then experimentally following the conclusions of that inquiry. That is religion. So it is, here we see Shankaracharya says that by understanding this statement correctly, It is not a theoretical something that is useful. It is a practical science. Mm. Our chemistry teacher used to tell, chemistry is actually a practical science. You cannot study it only from books. You have to do the practicals. So this spirituality is also like that, a practical science. You have to practice this, that I am divine only if I push aside these superficial differences of shapes, and we realize the truth. So it is then Shankaracharya says in the next verse, that is 243rd, Tayor virodho upadhikalpito na vastavaha. It is all based on upadhis. We uh, see these differences, not real at all. When it appears to be, because we are so much addicted to these upadhis, and thus base our conclusions on that. So we have to learn through discernment to practice this truth. So it is, then there are the there is the question about what is a jiva. So the uh, jiva, it is a different topic actually to go into the depths of it, but it is uh, each of that, when you get identified with the changing epithets, that becomes the jiva, the supreme one without second consciousness. As it were, you trap it into a body mind complex, and then that becomes a jiva. So everything is really full of jiva. It is, everything is alive. This podium is alive. This microphone is alive. The chairs are alive. It is, everything is full of life. This difference is really fictitious. The living and non-living. There is actually, you cannot give a single criterion by which you can say that this is living and this is not living. But why? Because everything is jiva. We are capable of sensing life only at one level, that is the lack of capacity on our part. Not that there is no life there, but we do not have the sense to actually sense it. Sri Ramakrishna could sense everywhere that life. So, because he had that elevated sensitivity. So, and why? Because actually there is life. We are not able to sense it, that's all. So, it is. There are many analogies given here to show that they, you are that divine, provided, provided. It is a simple thing, like you are a billionaire, provided you win all those jackpots. So now that is not possible. Then you are not a billionaire. It is so. It is. This is not left on this your luck. This is something. that everybody has right to. So find out the I, that it is in all states it gets unchanging. Yesterday we were talking about that changing and unchanging, that the spirit does not change. So that is Sakshi, witness of all the three states that we are in: Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, the waking state, the dream state, and then the deep sleep state. You remain unchanged. You say, I was having dream. You don't say somebody else was having dream. It is, I was having dream. Same person, same being. And in dream, just as in the waking state experience, you are always, the experiences or experiencer is always there. You are always there. In dream also, you don't see any dream where you are not there. That one witness of all these states, and that is what is to be held as real, unchanging. And it is asau swasakshiko bhavo. This is the 216th verse. That it is atha param swayam sakshat pratyagatma nachetaraha. This Atman is a self-cognized entity. Nobody else certifies that. It is because it is cognized by itself. There is no other light that can make the Atman shine. Its light makes everything shine. There is no other light that can shine it. There is a story that a little boy was sleeping with mom there, and then mom said, "Hey, is it just go out? We have been sleeping for a rather long time. Is there? Has the sun risen or not? Just go out and see." And then the son said, "Okay, let me light a lamp to see whether the sun has risen or not." Mom said, "Oh, you fool! If the sun rises, you don't see a need a lamp to see that shine there. The sun is so the Atman, in the light of Atman, everything shines. We chant that in every day our arati, Jyotir Jyoti Ujalar Dikandara. That it is, you are the light of all. All light is, you are the light of all of them. So, and the point is illumine our consciousness. So it is, we have to, in that light, we have to illumine our consciousness. So it is, he says that uh, that which clearly manifests itself in the states of wakefulness, dream, and profound sleep, which is inwardly perceived in the mind in various forms as an unbroken series of egoistic impressions, which witnesses the egoism, the buddhi, etc., which are diverse forms of modifications and which makes itself felt as the existence, consciousness, bliss. They see that you are just witnessing those. You are not that. It comes and goes, leaving you as it is. In all states, like Balya Adishu, Shankaracharya's, the Dakshinamurti Stotra gives that same idea there, that you are a little child. You used to, now you can see that as witness, all of you, that you were just 3-4 years old, and you used to cry for this and this and these things, and then You got some scoldings also, and now you feel ashamed that how could I do that? But you were witness of that. Then you started going to primary school. Yes, I had some nice experiences, nice memories of that time. I was witness of that also. It is, yeah. Then the body kept on changing. I went to high school. I had so many different types of friends, and I was at that time eager, that to become free from this, I didn't like always the parents putting me under their thumb. I wanted to just get to 18, and that's it. I thought that I'll be very happy once I become 18 years old. But I was witness of that feeling also. The age of 18 came and went. Mm, I kept on thinking that no, once let me get my college degree, then I will be very happy. I will be able to earn a lot of money. That also came and went. I was witness of that. I thought, let me have a partner in life. Let me get my. Then the happiness will know no bounds. Had it been true, the world would have been so happy. It is that doesn't happen. But I was witness of that as well. Mm. Even though I didn't want, the old age crept in. That which was a dark haired head, now it has become gray haired head, and it is still, it used to function better than now it is not functioning that well. I am witness of that also. The limbs were strong. Now angam galitam palitam mundam dashana vihinam jatam tundam, that it is Shankaracharya's hymn is there, that all the limbs have lost their strength and the teeth have left their place. And I am witness of that also. None of them are I. All these are different pictures. I am their witness. This practice, this is a meditation that has to be done all the time. This is called the witness meditation. The difficulty in as soon as you become identified with one of those states, the meditation is gone. One has to remember, I am none of them. I am just their witness. I am not a participator. I am just a witness. It is very beautiful experience. This is what one should keep on doing. So now I will take a short break, in the sense that if you can ask me some questions for 10 minutes. I requested her extra 10 minutes and she very kindly agreed. So, anybody has any quick question? Oh, you have? Okay. One question or two questions, or short question or long? Okay. Here.
Hello. Thank you very much once again for the enlightening talk. Please help me discern this. So Vivekananda, as we know, was very fond of chocolate ice creams. And the story goes that he could eat one after the other. So how do we know that he's not practicing temptation or desire, rather discernment?
A good question, You have to read this in the light of other incidents as well. See, for Vivekananda, he could not be contained in a body. He needed some such things by which he could. Therefore, he would just be. This happens in really manner a few times, not all the time. But what we take up these cherry picking, and somebody told that not only that we do cherry picking, we first put the cherries that we want to pick. So it is. This incident happened at Risley Manor. That and why Vivekananda would, after lunch, would say, "Enough talking. Now let me go." So to keep Vivekananda talking, that they would announce, there is a chocolate ice cream coming. And they would delay its coming more so that Vivekananda would stay there for a longer time. See, that is the state that, she has the next lecture kept on that, the science of a liberated soul, that he is not attached to anything, not identifying with anything. That great incident in Chicago, that where the host saw that he is again and again going in front of the mirror and looking at his face. And since he was very handsome to look at, she thought that Vivekananda also is charmed by his own form. And Vivekananda, he could just see the thoughts of everybody. So he immediately turned towards her and said, why I am doing that, I have to keep on reminding myself that this is what you are for now. You have to give lecture. So otherwise he would not even find that kind of identification with body. So he has no desires at all. That is, and with the physical form. Now, that physical form will have some particular suitable, some unsuitable, but he was not tied to any of it. Otherwise, how could he get into samadhi? Just at a slightest instigation, he would just forget everything, get into the state of samadhi. It is at Thousand Island Park. He went out and there was a big rains. So these devotees went to fetch him with an umbrella. And he saw in the midst of the rain on the rock, he was merged in samadhi. So imagine, that Vivekananda. So would you associate him with all such desires, chocolate ice cream or smoking? He had that smoking incidents also. So, but none of them touched him. Yeah.
Swami, this is from Anna Gosling online. Can you? This is from Anna Gosling online, an online question. Can you follow the path of bhakti and jnana yoga together? Do they contradict each other?
No path contradicts each other. In fact, for most of us, all these yogas have to be practiced together. Swami Vivekananda has categorized them into four main these things. But there are, like in Bhagavad Gita, you have every chapter is a yoga. So one has to practice all of them. It is, I like this analogy that you come in a four-wheeled car. Four-wheeled car, it is rarely somebody has come into that 18-wheelers or 28-wheelers. So you come in four-wheel car, and all four wheels are to be moving in the same direction, isn't it? If two say that we will go to east, other two say we will go to west. No, you have to practice the four yogas together. The Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, they are two main disciplines. Others are offshoots of this. That one is Jnana Yoga means not this, not this. And Bhakti Yoga means this, this, this. Yeah. So both are to be practiced together. That is only Jnana Yoga practitioners could be those who have that tremendous rational faculty accompanied with the tremendous discernment, dispassion. That, like Buddha, he saw one day that all this is full of misery, everything is evanescent, and then just give up everything because it makes no sense. We also see those things. Not that Buddha saw some very special events. We see those every day. And yet we do not see this truth. We still keep on, licking the same dirt and then getting into the same attachment, same I and mine, and we do not see this. So we are not really right practitioners, qualified practitioners for Jnana Yoga alone. We need to hold on to that truth which is in everyone. And that which is, even though the forms change, that remains. That is the support of everything. It is hold on to that and pour love to that. What is the point in, Bhakti Yoga is, now Mataji is giving classes on Narada's Bhakti aphorisms. Shankaracharya tells here the same idea of Bhakti, that what is Bhakti? It is turning all your love, your emotions to that which is permanent, that which is real. That is the yoga of devotion. As Narada says, Satu Asmin Parama Prema Rupa. The very first verse that about bhakti, second verse actually. First is Bhaktim Vyakhyasyaamaha. And then it is, what is the definition of bhakti? That Satu Asmin Parama Prema Rupa, that is loving the truth in everyone, that which is true. What is the point in pouring love on something that comes and goes? That is why our loves are like that. Today you love somebody, tomorrow you lose interest in it. Why? Because you cannot love impermanent things. You try your best. Even many times you do not try your best. But you cannot really love. The only thing that one can love is yourself. That is God, your true essence. That is the only lovable thing. And that is how the love goes in this world. I love, say, my son, my daughter, my spouse, my house, my ideas, and so forth, all connected with I. My means I has been put in it. And so it becomes lovable. Like all the different things, a cake or an ice cream or a cookie becomes sweet depending on how much sugar you put in it. So they become sweet because of the sugar. So everything becomes lovable because of the self put into it. So I am the preeminent object of love, and that has to be practiced, and that will both will enhance each other. The Jnana Yoga will be going in the right way. The Bhakti Yoga also will be going in the right way. Yeah, good.
And wasn't Shankara also a great bhakta?
Shankara was a great bhakta. Oh, my goodness, no. Absolutely no doubt about it. It is all these great incarnations of God, they were ideals in all different yoga practices. Shankaracharya was what he was. He was a great tantrika practitioner. He was of course, known as Jnana Yogi. He was a great bhakti yogi, full of tremendous devotion. And he was what not? He was a Raj Yogi. He has such tremendous control over all the mind and body and all limbs. And look at what the tremendous work he carried on in this short life of 32 years. How many commentaries he wrote, how many wonderful hymns he wrote. He travels the length and breadth of India. All the four corners he established the monasteries there, prepared the rules and regulations for all of that, for running of them. And they are running even now. Otherwise, one starts an institution today here, gone tomorrow. It is one factory, that had manufactured something, and I had bought that thing. And they said lifetime guarantee. Then I could not get, then I was told lifetime of that company. So it's like that. Shankaracharya was all that, like Thakur, Sri Ramakrishna, perfect in Jnana Yoga, perfect in Bhakti Yoga, Raj Yoga, everything. So he certainly was a Bhakti Yoga. Thank you.